Hello everyone. Today we'll talk in detail how to draw lines. Today we'll be covering drawing lines using a specific coordinates, drawing lines using a relative reference, and drawing line of a specific length and at a specific angle, and then drawing lines at a specific angle to another line. Let's start line command. I can actually, based on the prompt here, specify first point. I can actually click around, depending on where I want to draw the line from. I can actually click here to close it. I can click close to close it. Let me start line command again. This time around, let me make use of some other parameters on the command line. You can see we have a close and undo parameter. I can click undo to undo the last line segment. I can undo again to undo the last line segment. I can go to quick access toolbar and then click undo to undo everything I've done so far concerning the line. Okay, so using specific coordinates. Before we go into that, you need to understand that, by default, AutoCAD uses absolute referencing only and only when the dynamic input is off. If the dynamic input is on, AutoCAD uses relative referencing as default. So what I mean by this is that this is our origin. If I start line command and type in 0, 0 to start from the origin, I can say, okay, let me draw a line of maybe 200 units length, a horizontal line. So let me just type provide a 200 by 0 coordinate, and I'll get my line, which is this line. If I turn on dynamic inputs, by default, anything I'm drawing right now is uses a relative coordinate. So let me start line command again and click here and then type in 200 by 0 as my coordinate. And you can see where the line is drawn. Actually, by using the relative coordinate, here becomes its measurement starts from here. Here becomes my origin. So, for me to force AutoCAD to use absolute referencing when dynamic input is on, I need to use let me just delete this. I need to use the hash symbol. So if I start line command, I'll type in hash. Okay, well, let me just start line from here, 0, 0. And then type in hash, and then type in 200, 0 as my coordinate. You can now see AutoCAD behaves the way it's behaving because right now it's using absolute coordinate system based on the fact that I typed in hash sign. So let me just turn off dynamic input. Now, using relative referencing, if dynamic input is off, it's absolute. The default is absolute referencing. If I want to use relative referencing, I'll need to force AutoCAD to draw in relative referencing, and that means using the @ sign. So let me start line command again and start from here. But this time around, I'll type in at the command line and then provide my 200, 0 coordinates. Then press enter. So this is a relative reference. the @ symbol directs forces AutoCAD to use relative referencing for drawing. Drawing a line of specific length. This is actually direct distance entry method. If I start line command here, I can actually point my line here, type in 200 and press enter. You can see I've drawn a line from here to here. The length is 200. That's it. I can start line again, type in @ and then using polar coordinate system, type in maybe 100 angle bracket to indicate that angle is coming next, and maybe 30 degrees. And then you can see I've drawn a line of length 100 inclined at 30 degrees. So drawing a line at a specific angle is we'll mainly use a polar coordinate system. Another way to draw this is I can start line command here and type in angle bracket 45 and press enter. The line will be constrained at 45 degrees, waiting for the length. I can now type in the direct distance using direct distance entry method, maybe 200, enter, and I've drawn my line. I can use auto mode. You can see auto mode here. Turn it on. Start line command. It will constrain my line along X and Y axis. If I want to move outside those vertical and horizontal lines, I can actually hold down my shift key and then move in any direction I want. If I release my shift key, it constrains it at angle 90 along the X and Y axis. I can also use polar tracking. Polar tracking is actually an advanced form of auto mode. You can actually activate auto mode using a F8, but polar tracking is a F10. So look at polar tracking here. If I activate polar tracking, I can go to the fly out. You can now see the angles that you can track. I can create custom angle like this one here by going to the tracking setting dialog box. But that's not what I want to do now. Let me just choose 30 is okay. So for polar tracking, if I start my line, the starting point here, I can now move my line till I get an indication, a badge that tells me the length of my line and the angle my line is subtending. Right now you can see it's 30 degrees. I can now provide the direct distance using direct distance entry method to provide the length of the line, which is maybe 100, and then move to this direction. You can now see I'm aligned with 150 degrees. I can provide the same 100 and then maybe use C to close my line to draw a triangle. Then coming to drawing a line at a specific angle to another line, let's assume that I want to draw a line at 45 degrees, or let's say 30 degrees to this line. One way to do that is to flip my UCS. I'll type in UCS in the command line, press enter, and select object parameter, then select this end of the object. The UCS will be aligned with the object. So if I start line command now and start here, I can easily type in let's say length of 100 using polar coordinate system, angle bracket, and then let's say 30 degrees and enter. So all I need to do is to maybe right click and go to recent input, UCS, and then go to previous configuration to go back to my previous configuration. Or I can use Word to go back to my to align the UCS with the Word coordinate system. So you can see right now this line is inclined at 30 degrees to this line. So thanks for watching.